seems fair to me.
Yes, he did.
If you don't know what fair is, you can't make
Donnybrook is made possible by the support of the Betsy and Thomas Patterson Foundation and the members of 9PBS.
All the hot lips jokes.
Well, we had quite the primary in the city of St. Louis this week, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Donnybrook. Let's meet our panelists. She's the media veteran, Wendy Wiese. And making her Donnybrook debut, we welcome Jessica Rogen, digital editor at St. Louis Public Radio. Thank you, Jessica, for joining us. Sure appreciate it. We also welcome Joe Holleman. You know him, of course, from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and the newest member of the Kirkwood High School Hall of Fame, Mr. Alvin Reid, who was inducted on Saturday.
And it was, look, I was truly honored. We spoke to classes on Friday, but Saturday was like, I mean, I really felt honored. They did a super job. So to Lisa Wade and everybody else who put on just a phenomenal, phenomenal event, I'm still overwhelmed by it all. I truly am.
But I understand the band kept playing while you're giving your speech, and you wouldn't stop talking.
Well, I did. I kept mine to my 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just like the Oscars.
Hey, want to welcome some brand new artwork on the Donnybrook set. This time, hey, thank you, Melissa Bauer. You can find her work at melissabauerfineart.com. And that beautiful quilt will be on our set for 1 full month. It's part of our rotating artwork exhibit here at 9PBS. Melissa Bauer, thank you very much for helping us out. Okay, Joe, it was very unusual because the challenger in Tuesday's primary, one of 3 anyway, Kara Spencer, St. Louis alderwoman, got twice as many votes as the incumbent, Tashara Jones, who, generally speaking, you know, has a certain advantage being an incumbent with name recognition, perhaps money, perhaps organization. But the two will now face each other less than 35 days from now in the April finals. What's your analysis?
I was surprised, I won't say shocked, but surprised by the margin that Spencer won by. Being an incumbent carries its own baggage. You know, you're never more popular than on the day you first take office, and then it goes downhill from there. So we knew there were some things that Mayor Jones had problems with, snow removal, several things. But I was surprised that the gap was 68% to 35%. I see that as nothing's impossible, but I see that as a really huge hill for Jones to have to climb in the April election. I think Spencer was the big winner, clearly.
Yeah, and I think if more people vote, that would be the mayor's chance at, well, first of all, reducing the deficit, maybe overcoming it. But you're right. I mean, when you're down almost 2-1, that's kind of difficult to come back from. I think along with the reasons you listed and others that maybe people were saying, like this administration. But I just was thinking, you know, the other day when you go back to right after, you know, Tashara was elected, it was shortly after that that Lewis Reid and the gang was clowning and went to prison. And then the circuit attorney. And then it was like things that really weren't in her control, but it never seemed to stop. And then we got into the mayoral cycle, and like I say, then it was snow. And then it was, you know, just different things that, you know, were coming from the administration.
It was, and don't forget, as we were ramping up, it was the building inspector story. It was Snowmageddon. I think they're putting a lot of the emphasis on Snowmageddon, and I don't know that it was. I think the B- that she gave them for, you know, or herself for snow removal. But you know how Bill McClellan always talks about looking at yard signs. And on social media, you know, that's the new place to watch the yard signs. And I was surprised, just anecdotally, by progressive friends that I have who live in the city who were really very out there for their support of Kara Spencer. And, you know, because they had been pretty strong Tashara supporters up until now. But when Dr. Ken Warren of St. Louis University says, it's Kara's. It's Kara's.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I agree with you, Alvin, to the extent that, you know, she was probably tarnished, the mayor. by the St. Louis schools, because sometimes people don't know, and if schools are going crazy, then they might say the mayor has something to do with it. But also, as Wendy says, the building department's got issues. They're being investigated by the feds. The SLDC was giving grants to questionable organizations. The jail has been a mess. And the potholes, the recycling, the trash. There's been some good departments. I think parks and police generally have done well.
People have said they want change. I mean,
and you know what? I think there's a lot of people in South St. Louis who used to live in Webster and Shrewsbury and had great services, and they know what good services are, and the services have not been good lately.
But Megan Green was the one that said that this is just a bad time for incumbents, and then I forget the woman who was referenced in the article. She said this has nothing to do with incumbency and wanting a new crop. This is just the drip, drip, drip of problems for the current mayor.
I think Turnout was the big loser, Jessica, with what, 17.9% of eligible voters coming out in a decent mayoral race with 4 candidates, all solid, right? And yet less than 1 out of 5 St. Louisans could get off the couch to vote?
Yeah, so, you know, with less than 18%, that is a big decrease, or, you know, for St. Louis, a big decrease from 4 years ago where we saw 22%. And, you know, from 2017, an even bigger decrease. However, you know, if you look at the primary versus the, you know, the general municipal election, we see like kind of a, you know, more like a 30% turnout. So there could be a lot of votes for Tishora, like out there still. I mean, maybe like 25,000. Can she actually win them? That's like something else entirely. Yeah. But there are more people.
I think there may be 25,000, 30,000 votes out there. The question is, are they all going to vote for Tishora? And I don't think votes tend not to break down that way. I think
not in any election.
Michael Butler got a lot of votes, and people were saying, well, maybe Michael Butler's following will, you know, switch over to Kara Spencer. A lot of Michael Butler's votes came from white South Side wards. Well, so I don't think it's easy to just say this will all go here.
But I'm sorry.
Oh, but I think you can say that like the North wards, which have really been Tishora Jones' stronghold, did not come out for the primary. And, you know, will they come out now?
Well, no, don't forget. Ness Sandoval, the researcher, demographer at St. Louis University, has pointed out there's been a huge erosion in African Americans moving from the north side to outside the city. In fact, in 2 years, from 2022 to 2024, 7,000 African Americans moved out, and now it went from 120,000 to 113,000. Those are voters.
How much of it has to do, though, with confusion when it comes to this approval voting?
Good question. Approval voting.
Approval voting. I think some people might think, what? You know, and I'll just stay home. Or as Jessica is implying, maybe they are going to wait for the general.
And I don't have a concept of going into a voting booth and voting for more than one person when there's only one seat. You know, like for school board, 6 people may be running and there's 3 open seats, so you vote for 3. But I understand it, but it doesn't compel me to run down there and vote.
Exactly.
And explain that, because some of our viewers may be completely unfamiliar with this, because you can vote in the St. Louis City primary. If there are 4 candidates, you can vote, Alvin, for all 4.
You could have voted for all 4 candidates, 2 of your choice, 3. Yeah. So in other words, when you add it all up, as far as the percentages, you can come out with over 100%. Of course, you have to have more than 18% turnout to pull that trick. But yeah, I don't know. When they first said they were going to do it, I kind of was like, okay, all right. But now I'm like, I don't know.
It makes no sense.
It really does.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yep.
And if someone like Kara Spencer, Joe, gets more than 50% of the vote, in this case, what'd she get? 66% or something?
68.
68%. Should she have to face a challenger in the finals?
Well, there's an argument to be made on the all-in primary where you could still have 2 races, nonpartisan, so no Democrat, Republican, but all 4 people would have been in this race. People could have went in and voted for only one person. The top 2 move on to April unless any one of those people got 1 vote more than 50%, then that would be over and they would be elected. So if it were the all-in primary style where there was just 1 vote, Kara Spencer would already be the mayor because she would have gotten over 50%.
Makes sense.
That's one method of doing it. obviously there's no need to have a Republican race in the city. We used to have these April races, which were a waste of money, you know, where a candidate was going to get 20% of the vote. And we knew that was going to happen, so the primary became everything. I think the best would be is to do the all-in. Everybody runs, one vote per person.
Yeah.
Top two move on. Unless one person gets 50%, they win.
30 seconds to go, but I think really, if St. Louisans want their city to shine, they got to get off the couch and engage in democracy. I mean, either they're very satisfied with trash and potholes and recycling, or they're tuned out. And if you're tuned out, I mean, if you got problems with trash, recycling, and potholes, it's your fault if you don't vote. Sorry, St. Louis.
Yeah,
but,
I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. Well, we do encourage everyone to get off the couch and join us May the 8th for Donnie Bash. It's our live broadcast at the Sheldon. Here are the details.
Hey friends, I'm Martia Crowder. I'm your member and viewer experience manager here at, well, you guessed it, 9 PBS. That's right. And I am, in case you can't tell, very, very excited tonight for two things. Number one, for each and every one of you out there to become a new member or to renew your membership. And two, for the incredible opportunities that we have to offer you when you become a member. So you know what? Let's dive in and let me tell you all about it. So at the $75 level, one time, you get this incredible limited edition 9 PBS 70th birthday mug. I mean, look at that thing. It's absolutely beautiful. But here's the thing. It is a limited run. We are running out. That means don't waste your time. Don't drag your feet, because if you want this mug, you got to call us right now. We're running out real fast. So then at the $95 level, one-time contribution, we can send you a ticket to Donnie Bash. That's right, the most incredible night of the year on Thursday, May 8th of 2025. That's right around the corner at 5:30 p.m. at the Sheldon Concert Hall. My very favorite place in all of St. Louis. I adore it. But Donnie Bash is an incredible party where you get to meet and greet with your favorite Donnybrookers and your favorite 9 PBS personalities. You know, it's an incredible time. But then there's more, because at the $15 a month sustaining level, super easy to become a sustainer, but you can get the mug that I talked about, and also 2 tickets to Donnie Bash. That is right. And like I said, it is right around the corner, May 8th. It's an incredible night. You meet the Donnybrookers, and there's one cocktail party right before. Then you get to see a live taping of Donnybrook and a cocktail party following. So you get to meet the Donnybrookers, rub elbows with them, see other 9 PBS personalities. It is an amazing time, so you don't want to miss it. All of these levels are absolutely amazing, and you receive them when you become a member. Give us a call at 800-568-9099. But right now, we're going to go over to the table with my friend Yael Hollander and some very familiar faces.
Ah, spring has sprung, and when spring has sprung, everybody's fancy turns to thoughts of Donnie Bash 2025, May 8th. At the Sheldon Auditorium. It's a historic day, you know. May 8th.
The end of World War II in Europe?
No, but you're on the right track.
Your birthday?
Not my birthday. Harry S. Truman will be turning 141 years old at Donnie Bash.
Dang.
Wow.
I think he would have enjoyed Donnybrook.
Oh, he would have.
He would have been a great panelist.
Yeah, he would have been a great panelist, but he won't be there. I think he's probably got a prior engagement at 141. That's what you do. But we'll be here. 6 Donnybrookers will be on site for the first time ever. That is right. Donnie Bash 2025, now with 100% more Joe Holleman, making his Donnie Bash debut.
I thought we were supposed to be selling this show.
You are a big selling point.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, that means that you're the freshman, so the rest of the Donnybrookers get to haze you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to get the coffee and provide all the sandwiches and things like that. But seriously, Donnie Bash is the public affairs public affair. It is the crown jewel of public broadcasting in St. Louis's social season. Everybody has a great time. Everybody enjoys it. You get a full hour of Donnybrook rather than just, your ordinary, 27-minute and 48 seconds?
That's right.
There you go. So you get twice the Donnybrook for the same cost. thoughts on how you prepare for Donny Bash?
Well, we followed Joe's reporting, Alvin's reporting, and Sarah's,
Bill's.
You know, it's not that difficult. It's not rocket science because thanks to the local leaders and their policies and actions, every week we have too many topics and not enough time. I mean, that's really true. That's why we now have Last Call, right? The new service where we get more local topics in. And we throw the topics out on this table like meat to lions, and people jump on it, and that's about it.
That's true. Now, you mentioned the rocket scientist. He wasn't that, but Albert Einstein actually appeared on the Sheldon stage one time.
Dang.
So, you know, like when you're in the green room, I always, back at the Sheldon, I always think, like, man, think of all the great artists and great men and women that have been in here before going on stage. And then I laugh and say, now it's our turn.
And you know that the very first general manager of Channel 9 was Arthur Holly Compton, who had a Nobel Prize in physics, I believe.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and so he was our GM.
But it really is, I mean, in terms of like seasonally with spring, it is a fabulous group of people because they're coming out of their caves for the first time, you know, and it's just, everybody is interested in the opinions of everybody else. People, I think, kind of mirror the civility of the, you know, the panel, and it's just a great night. And I think the proof is in the pudding because we have so many people who come back year after year.
Yes, and it's our big fundraiser of the year, you know, now more than ever.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Your funding and the programming that we have here is, it's incomparable because there's no other television station doing the local coverage like we are with Living St. Louis, and then tonight Donnybrook. And then tomorrow, Cementland, which is a documentary on Bob Cassilly. That's going to be fantastic on 9 PBS.
And tell them why you're running home tonight.
Well, I'm running home tonight to watch The Highwaymen, but first, we need to send it back to Mardia.
I love that description of the public affair. I mean, he's not wrong because this is the creme de la creme of membership events. Because you know what? If you come to Donny Bash, every single person that's surrounding you is also a member of 9 PBS. So you're in great company. So hopefully you don't just think about it. Become a member right now. You don't want to miss this incredible opportunity. And let me tell you a little bit about what we'll send you as a thank you if you join us right now. So at the $75 level, I've told you before, that beautiful 9 PBS 70th birthday mug. And it is an extremely limited edition. I'm not kidding you guys. This thing is flying off of our shelves. So we are going to sell out. And when we do, you would have missed your opportunity. So, you know, friends tell their friends about, you know, Donnybrook and these amazing mugs. So at the $95 a month level, see, I wouldn't be a good friend if I didn't tell you about this. Donny Bash is on May 8th of 2025. So that is right around the corner, and it's at 5:30 p.m. It's going to be an amazing summer night at the Sheldon Concert Hall. So join us at Donny Bash. But then there's one more level I want to tell you about. There's the $15 a month sustaining membership level where you get that beautiful 70th birthday mug and 2 tickets to see Donny Bash live at the Sheldon on May 8th. It is a beautiful event. Like I said, you're going to be joined by tons of members, so don't miss it. Give us a call at 800-568-9099. Call or text GIVE to that number, or go to our website, 9pbs.org. But let's join the Donnybrookers for an amazing discussion again.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you in May. You can bet on that. Hey, Wendy, by the way, you've been to many of those Donny Bashes, and you know it's a lot of fun. Maybe even more fun than a comptroller's race. Now, this is a fun race because there is a comptroller in the city of St. Louis, and this position's pretty important because that person is the guy or the gal who pays the bills, but also is one of 3 people on the Board of Estimate and Apportionment and votes on all the budgets. And the incumbent lost by just 500 votes to Donna Baringer. The incumbent, of course, being Darlene Green. Your analysis of this one?
Well, it was kind of surprising to hear that Darlene, even by that margin, and I know a lot of people think that she can still come up with a win in 35 days, Darlene Green. She's had a tough couple of years, but I think a lot of it was sort of out of her control. There were software issues. I think that she was out of the office for a while. I mean, I had heard that, I mean, everybody has had some kind of form of something, you know, that has kept them on the sidelines. Maybe she was working from home. Donna Baringer, very, very impressive. I loved what she said about, you know, sort of ditching social media and going out in the community and actually engaging at all of these neighborhood association meetings, explaining the job of the comptroller, even though she is not an accountant. You know, that's going to, you know, some people think, oh, nope, got to have an accountant. And I think that's sort of where it's going to hinge for her. And Darlene Green is somebody that we feel comfortable with if we do have a new administration, as it certainly appears we might. Maybe they would want to keep that third, you know, Board of Estimate and Apportionment person sort of, you know, the same, just out of a sense of comfort. But it's going to be a great race to the end, I think.
Yeah. Now, the way you were talking about the two candidates and nobody gets over 50%, these two would probably be running. But Celeste Metcalf got 5,000 votes. And if I'm down 500 and those 5,000 votes are out there, I got to be confident that I could get 600 more than Donna Baringer did and win this election.
Unless they already voted for you. Because in approval voting, the folks who voted for Metcalf might have voted for Darlene Green.
Well, but they did vote for Donna Baringer if that was the case.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, I'm saying you said if they voted for Darlene Green and Celeste Metcalf. Yeah.
But she wouldn't endorse either candidate.
Yeah,
afterwards, she said she didn't think either one of them was qualified.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry, Justin.
I think that says more.
We'll see her in 4 years.
Yeah, that says more about Celeste Metcalf than I think it does the candidates.
You know, I wonder, like, Darlene Green has been in office 30 years, and how long has it been since she's had an actual competitor?
95.
Like,
I was going to say,
95.
literally about 4 years after she took the office.
Can she actually, you know, rally and campaign? Because, you know, Donna Baringer has had a lot of support.
Well, if she had got crushed like Tashar did, then I would say, like, no, she can't.
Well,
I was like, well, obviously
500 votes is an insurmountable.
This is the kind of loss that Tashara Jones could have been okay with. I think at least that Darlene Green is seeing a path to victory. I think if you're in the Jones camp right now, you're trying very hard to find that path. However, I think it does speak to a anti-incumbent, but not so much anti-incumbent as even Megan Green pointed out. People just aren't happy with the way the city's operating right now. And I think that covers the whole gamut of everybody in charge.
Darlene Green's big advantage is that people don't remember anything anymore. And about a year or so ago, there were reports that airport contractors were quitting because they weren't getting paid by the city, and they were blaming the comptroller. And, you know, if it had happened recently, like a snowstorm, maybe she'd be in trouble. But I think it's going to be a very good race between Baringer and Green in the next.
Darlene Green was sharp enough to take 2 giant steps away from Mayor Jones over SLDC grant program.
And she did that on Sarah Fenske's podcast, as a matter of fact.
And I do think the comptroller should be an auditor. Or CPA. Or
she's the only one who ever has been.
Yeah, but
so I think surround yourself with good people. You don't need, the president doesn't need to be a general, but he has to surround himself by good generals, and the same is true, I think, for the comptroller. Alvin, but I want to ask you, I can't believe it. The University of Missouri St. Louis has announced that it's cutting its track team. I think it was first reported by St. Louis Magazine. That's horrible. And SIUE is cutting $10 million from its budget. We already know that Fontbonne University is closing. Webster University is going into its endowment to pay for operating matters. And at Lindenwood, they actually got rid of their gymnastics team 1 year after it won the national championship. These local schools are really in trouble.
Yes, and I do want to ask, what's the endowment of these schools? You know, like, not that you got to cut a check to keep track and field, but at the same time, you're sitting on all this loot, and meanwhile, oh, we got to cut $10 million. Okay, maybe we could compromise on that a little bit. You know, whatever university you're at. You know, I'm biased. I want to protect sports, even though they're non-revenue sports, because the majority of athletes who compete in a collegiate sport do not play football or basketball or a money-making enterprise as far as the college team is concerned. I know you have to make tough decisions, and quite frankly, I think a lot of colleges and a lot of high schools especially, if you really wanted to kind of address some of the issues that are going on with what you can and can't do, I think the minute you say, like, well, tell you what, we're going to cut a sport to save money, that gets people's attention, and maybe that's what's going on at UM St. Louis.
Well, and you know, gosh, maybe, just possibly, with all of these colleges being in financial trouble, maybe we should look and think, have we been wise in our expenditures of money over the years? Let's not look at that. I mean, you start a whole bunch of programs at a college, and then you find out they're not paying for themselves, and you can't fund it, so you cut them. I mean, maybe they shouldn't have been created. Maybe your spending was out of control. That's also a possibility that at least has to be introduced.
Well, and as far as SIU Edwardsville and their enrollment numbers, I just think there are not as many people.
That's right.
And I do think that we, not you, Jessica, but most of us on this panel, we represent the old world order. There is a new world order, and a lot of people have wised up about tuition costs and the fact that it is crippling. It's a legacy that these kids are carrying, you know, that keep them from getting houses and all that. I have read that VOTEC schools, you know, that their enrollments are up. I just think there's a new way of thinking, and I don't think there is a need for that many colleges and universities.
Well, I think
awful.
especially in this area where the population is kind of stagnant, so there's that. And these are the regional colleges that are great for social advancement for the working class. And so, but a track team, every high school has a track team. I mean, you tell me a college can't afford a track team? It's, you know,
and I'll bet you that UMSL's track team drew as many people as my high school track team did, which was 7 parents and nobody else.
It should have nothing to do with revenue producing.
Right. It shouldn't have anything to do with revenue. Yeah, you said it best. The two, if you're going to,
but it costs money. Clearly, it costs money to have a team and travel.
Yes, but
and you're not.
How much?
And you need money.
A couple of gallons of gas? I mean.
But I mean, come on, like, don't tell me there isn't an administrative cost that you could cut. You're going to take something that is for students.
Now, let me go back to what I originally said. Looking at how you spend money completely, yes.
Okay.
Do I think some administrators could get axed in a variety of the education field? Without a
Well, that's
doubt.
probably true. And by the way, last week, Washington University's baseball team had its very last game against Fontbonne, Wendy. Your alma mater. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
So sad.
I want to ask you, Jessica, about what seems to be a big change in an opinion by the mayor, who in 2022, Mayor Tashara Jones started a reparations commission with, among other things, some sort of financial support for the families whose ancestors were enslaved. And then this week, St. Louis Public Radio has reported that she said that reparations are off the table.
Yeah, so the mayor, you know, she did like more than a year for this commission to make the report. Really, you know, the only thing people truly want is direct cash payments, but she's saying it is unconstitutional. But, you know, that's not going to, you know, win her any support. And you also kind of wonder, like, what was this commission doing this whole time if we were just going to turn around and the mayor said her office has not fully read the report yet, but they're not going to do cash payments.
That was surprising because your report indicated that the report came out in October, but the mayor's office hasn't read it fully yet. Yeah.
Great story.
Well, I'm also going to go back to the point where it says it may be unconstitutional.
Well,
yeah, that's kind of a big.
It may
where do we go from there?
Well,
where do we go from there?
It may be unconstitutional, but I said right here, this is going nowhere. This is a waste of energy, and this is a waste of time. And now we're to the point where, like, well, we can't do it anyway. Well, how about somebody just say, like, hey, let's not go there. Let's especially until I'm reelected. Maybe, you know, maybe we can go there in term 2. But this wasn't going anywhere from
well, there was a lot of vision. There was a lot of vision.
There was a lot of vision.
To me, that wasn't even vision.
Well,
that was just.
No, but it's a thing I think that people are talking about we talk about city government. Why are you spending your time on this when the garbage is not being picked up? Whatever energy, thought, time, and effort you were putting into this, why didn't you put it into something
But it was like the Visa cards. I mean, I think that what she was trying to do, especially that, you know, that when I called her a transformative candidate, when she first was running, a transformational candidate, she talked about black girl magic. And I think that she wanted to shine a light on people who never have their needs addressed. And I think that was part of it. Even though being a journalist and somewhat of a cynic, you know, and you're a realist, you knew that there was no chance, but there was some hope there. At least she offered folks some hope.
Right, I thought you were saying being a black guy.
No,
no, I mean seriously, because I'm saying like yes, but I can tell you like no. This is one issue. This is one issue that was not going anywhere.
Well,
right?
Yeah, you did say that. I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
You did say that on this program. Well, we could use some cash payments here at 9 PBS. And when you make one, you can get a ticket to our Donnie Bash live broadcast and fundraiser on May the 8th. Here are some more details.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us for another lively debate with the Donnybrokers. You know, and if you love what you're watching right now and you're like, I wish that I could see that live, well, boy, have I got an opportunity for you. So right now, if you're thinking about becoming a member, don't think about it. Do it right now. Give that number a call on your screen so I can tell you all about the amazing opportunity and thank you gifts that we can send you when you become a member. So at the $75 a month, or sorry, $75 one time, you get that amazing 70th birthday mug. 9 PBS has been around for 70 whole years. And guess what? That is only because of viewers like you. So if you want to celebrate with us and drinking your morning coffee every morning, celebrating our 70th, well, do that right now because it's a limited time edition. So once that's gone, it's gone for good. So at the $95 level, you will get a single ticket to see Donnie Bash live in person. And that is a live taping of Donnybrook on the stage at the Sheldon Concert Hall. It is my favorite event of all year, really. And I said it's May 8th, 2025, right around the corner at 5:30 p.m. So it's an incredible summer night. And then at the $15 a month level, you will receive that beautiful 70th birthday mug and 2 tickets to see Donnie Bash live in person. And what better thing could you do on a summer night? I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. So give us a call or text GIVE to 800-568-9099 or go to our website at 9pbs.org. That's NINEPBS.org. But right now, let's go over to the table to my friend Yale and my other friends, the Donnybrokers.
No, I'm just wondering. And we are back to talk about Donnie Bash 2025, May 8th, and I do stand corrected. Not only is it Harry Truman's birthday, but you are correct. It will also be the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II in Europe. So
The 8th,
we are truly living up to the reputation of educational television tonight. see what you learn. But we're here to talk about Donnie Bash, which is really 3 events in one if you really want to think about it. You've got before the show, there's a cocktail hour where you will have a chance to rub elbows with the Donnybrokers. Then we have the actual show itself. Again, 60 full minutes of live action Donnybrook, little audience participation at the end with a Q&A session. Always a fun time. And then following that, there is going to be another reception, a dessert reception afterwards, where you will once again have an opportunity to talk with the Donnybrokers, do a little debriefing over some past desserts, and it's just a really good time. Now, you know, Donnie Bash rather, is one of those big public events where you get to see your adoring public. What goes into your thought process when you're getting ready to meet your adoring public?
Okay, and this is the truth. You know, we live our lives on Thursdays, you know, before we come here. But it's like part of a day that we've worked or done whatever. Donnie Bash Day is almost like back when I used to actually like play, you know, for real games, where I'm like saying like I need to be off my feet and I need to just relax all day because it is so much fun, but it starts before the show. Then there's the show, then there's after the show, but I have so much fun talking to people and meeting people and greeting people who are really, you know, really enjoy the show, but really enjoy Channel 9 as well. There's a lot of discussion just about public, you know, broadcast. And so it truly is an event. And it's one that, you know, we enjoy to a point that we're exhausted. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but that's how much I put into it, and that's how much I enjoy it.
I've always wondered if they could ever get us on those little lazy Susans where we can, because we are constantly just turning around where we are and trying to make sure that we get to talk to everybody. But it's just such a great cross-section of people and ages. How many times have we met young couples who just moved here and they were told to start watching Donnybrook so that they would know, you know, what was happening on the local scene, and they keep watching, you know, forever. So it is a great, great party.
And this year we're going to have a 6th person, as you mentioned, at the table. Never before. It's always 5, but this year, because Sarah and Joe rotate on a weekly basis,
Right.
everybody's going to be there. Sarah and Joe and Bill and Wendy, Alvin and me.
And you're going to be, you and Sarah are going to be objectified because you're the eye candy. You know, I mean,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
everybody knows
absolutely.
that you and Sarah.
I figured that's why I was on the show. I
Right.
got that.
Absolutely.
I got that right away. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to make you feel cheap or anything, but yeah, you're the eye candy.
Let's be honest. Nobody gets a bigger reaction when we bring them out than Alvin.
Oh my God.
It's like
Mr.
Tom
Vegas.
Jones in 1977 at the MGM.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
the house just goes wild.
Yep.
They start selling tickets in Kirkwood like 6 months before.
Well, okay, I got
true.
a quick
Well, now that he's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
That's
yeah.
right.
No, I usually provide some tickets and they get bid on for Kirkwood School District Foundation Spring Fling. It's literally the Friday before the show on Thursday. So I've already told them, I said, now look, we got to turn this around real quick this year, but there's going to be do it, and it's really a highlight. Trust me, it's not the most expensive thing up for bids going on, but they really enjoy being able for 2 or 4 people to get to come. And so it is, I mean, organizations like that
Worth
love
it at any price.
Yes.
Worth it at any price. All right, we're going to throw it back to Martia.
I love that Wendy was talking about all the different ages that you see at Donny Bash, and that is one of the most fun things about this, is it really is such a diverse crowd, you know? And that's the beauty of also 9 PBS. You know, we connect to multiple generations, from little kids to, you know, 100 years old, who knows, right? But we appeal to everyone because we love to tell your stories, and we are licensed to the community. That means we belong to you. So when you become a member, we want to give you this option of that $75 70th birthday mug. Look at that. And that is in celebration of our 70 years as 9 PBS. And like I said before, it is only because of viewers like you that we have 70 years. So come on, you know what? Help us get to 70 more. So then at the $95 level, one time, you get a ticket to see Donny Bash live at the Sheldon Concert Hall on May 8th. That is going to be my favorite summertime event. I'm so excited about it. And then at the $15 a month level, you will receive 2 tickets to see Donny Bash live at the Sheldon, and also that beautiful 70th birthday mug. But don't drag your feet on this. It's right around the corner. You don't want to miss out on that mug. You don't want to miss the tickets. All right, let's join the Donnybrookers again.
Thank you so much. We'll see you this spring. Wendy, Wiese, I want to ask you about another measure. Actually, we've seen this before, haven't we? That would, in the state of Missouri, not allow food stamp recipients, actually it's called SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program,
right,
for using those state monies on candy or soda. Now, it's been introduced for years, as we know, but recently we have seen that soda leads to cancer and diabetes and all sorts of health concerns. Candy's has no nutritive value either. Is it time that we say, okay, if you're going to get assistance for nutrition, you can only use it for something that's nutritious?
Well, the lawmaker who's out in front is Jamie Grogg of Ozark down in southwest Missouri, and he's tying the SNAP payments and soda consumption to the downfall of Western civilization. You know, there are plenty of non-SNAP families who also overdo the soda and the candy. To me, I understand that, the common sense, you would want the healthier foods to be the option. I think with a little tweaking of packaging, we're so consumer oriented right now. If you tweaked packaging a little bit, put healthier foods in more fun packaging, and don't tell the kids that they're eating kale, whatever. But that could make a difference. It just seems kind of punitive. I mean, your lower income family, you can't have an occasional soda pop or maybe some candy. Things are tough right now, and people are, whether we want to admit it, or not, people are eating medicinally.
I don't think that's what people are saying, that you can't have soda or candy. What they're saying is that the taxpayers shouldn't pay for you to have soda and candy, when what they really wanted you to do was buy eggs and bread and things like that.
Well, eggs cost $18.
Well, okay, but the point is that it's not good for you. So now the next problem is going to be, well, people aren't getting the right nutrition. Let's do another government program.
But there was a Republican, and forgive me, I can't remember his name either. I believe it was Murphy, and he seemed to be pushing back and saying, we don't want to create this kind of nanny state. We don't want to have, a wand where we're, digging into people's grocery bags.
I just think that, boy, this is a tough one for me, but I do believe that you should only be able to buy things that are on a certain nutrition level. I also know that most people that do use SNAP, this is not the only food that they purchase. So you could decide to use your money to buy things like that. I know that a lot of the people who support this are coming from a lot of places that I don't ever want to go to. And I don't mean like location-wise. I mean philosophical-wise. But at the same time, I just lean to that's okay with me. But
yeah, why should we have common sense and take part in it?
I mean, there's that, but also, it's not the greatest definition of candy. If you look at the bill, includes, anything in a bar shape that has nuts or any sort of sweetener. So it's we can't have people buying granola bars with SNAP money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty...
Thank you, Jessica.
Granola bars are not good for you either.
Well, I was going to say, we're not getting enough hydrogenated corn syrup. We got to get it to them in granola bars.
I love granola bars, but they're ultra processed. They're not healthy. Bread's not healthy either, frankly. And they can buy granola bars just with their own money. It's not like this is a supplemental.
Where does this go, though? Do we extend it to the next thing that is candy-like?
Well, we already do. Jessica, as you know, you can't use food stamps or SNAP for cigarettes or alcohol. And with the tremendous program called Women, Infants, Children, you can only buy nutritious food. You can't buy candy, Cheetos, Doritos, or Fritos. And I think if we want to provide nutrition to children, then we have to say, look, and I know the grocers and the people who make carbonated beverages will disagree with me.
Oh, yeah, and they'll be strong enough lobby that this probably won't make it. Right. Especially nationally, they would say, no, let people buy what they want to. And, if you, look, I get it. If I buy the microwavable White Castles, what is that? That's a step above a Snickers bar right there. But that would fall under the nutritious as opposed to candy. But I think there could be some better designed bill that takes care of this.
All right, Joe, I want to ask you, speaking of food, Betty Ray's apparently is a very popular ice cream in Kansas.
Okay.
And it's coming to St. Louis. Actually, Bluebell from Brennan, Texas just arrived in our stores recently. We must be an ice cream eating town. Yeah. But we already have Clementine's, which is getting national attention, Ted Drew's national attention, and places like Fitz's Frozen Custard. Sure. Do you think that this market can support another competitor in the already very competitive ice cream frozen custard market?
I say, by God, I'm ready to find out.
No kidding.
Let's all do our part. It's ice cream, man. First of all, but the idea is can it support it? I think that's what the free market will show. You come here, and if people like your ice cream better than A, B, or C, they'll buy your ice cream more. If they don't, you won't stay in business very long. So I welcome them and best of luck, and I will be more than happy to try some of them.
I would like the record to reflect that Mr. Brennan, our provocateur, is spending an awful lot of time talking about junk food and ice cream with this side of the table.
I know.
Right? I mean, so because we are...
I'm just letting it roll off my
But no, I think that whatever the market will bear, right? I mean, if there is room and if it's a good product... Yeah, I think there are a lot of people right now who are kind of sad, and an ice cream cone might make a difference.
Well, I didn't go that deeply into it, Wendy, but at the same time, no, I think it's fine. And I also think that, okay, would somebody please make a lactose-free ice cream? They make it, they sell it in the store, but they don't sell it like in treats, like at...
Oh, I mean, Clementine's has it.
Does it? Okay, well, then I'll have to try it. I'll have to go. But,
is it frozen yogurt?
No, it's still got the culture in it. Yeah, But now, I will say this. When Andy's opened in Kirkwood, I didn't know, like, man, do people really like this much frozen custard? And people go to Ted Drew's and all that. The day it opened, it was about 8 degrees outside. And there were people lined up to get it.
Delicious.
So we are an ice cream eating town. So, yeah, the more the merrier.
It's ice cream. I could eat ice cream every day. It's the greatest dessert food ever invented.
I'm not going to argue against ice cream. The one thing I'll say is I noticed they had a gooey butter cake flavor, and I'm like, do I want a Kansas City gooey butter cake?
That's a good question.
I don't think so.
I think we need to try it and see if they can do it.
You better stick with Ted Drew's and get the Brennan blend. Don't go after the McGraw like my kids do.
Oh, golly.
My kids go to Ted Drew's and they
order the McGraw. That's cute.
And now Beth does too.
Oh, boy.
That's not cute at all.
That's not cute.
What's the number for Cordell and Cordell?
No, it goes out. Right.
But the funny thing is, why then do we limit casinos? If we're saying, oh, let the market, why not to say, hey, if you want to open up a cannabis shop
because you're going to get into a lot more trouble at a casino than you are at an ice cream.
No, I just think, I think that's the powers that be control that, because like the more casinos, the less money I make. So we'll constrict our own industry. I think the ice cream people aren't, like, hey, every man for himself. Right.
That's just the first time I've ever heard anybody basically ask what's the difference between a casino and an ice cream shop. So,
more slot
spend a lot less money at an ice cream shop, maybe?
I don't know. Ice cream's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back for last call, we're going to talk about some other issues that are on the docket that we couldn't get to in the first half hour. If you want to write us about the show, you can easily do so. Care of 9 PBS, 3655 Olive Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63108. We love those emails, Donnybrook at 9pbs.org. And you can also use hashtag DonnybrookSTL on social media. Call the 9 line, won't you? 314-512-9094. And you can find us on your favorite podcast source. But don't forget, as I said, some topics we didn't get to in the first half, you'll find those on the 9 PBS YouTube channel. We call that Last Call. And at the same time, we will see you May the 8th for Donny Bash. Join us, won't you?
Donnybrook is made possible by the support of the Betsy and Thomas Patterson Foundation and the members of 9 PBS.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing, exciting table, conversation with the Donnybrookers. I'm Martia Crowder. I'm your member and viewer experience manager, and I'm here to tell you just what being a member means to us. We value all of you so much, and if you're kind of on the fence and you're thinking about joining right now, just dive on in. It is such a great family to join with 9 PBS, and it's only because of viewers like you that we continue to produce programs like Donnybrook and share with the public, like I said, because of you. So we want to say thank you so much because we appreciate you incredibly by giving you the opportunity to receive some of these gifts. We have the $75 level. We've got that 70th birthday 9 PBS mug. And that says limited edition, and I'm not kidding you guys. It is incredibly limited. We have a limited quantity, and once it's gone for good. So celebrate our 70 years with your morning cup of coffee every day with that $75 contribution. So at the $95 level, you will receive a ticket to see Donnie Bash live at the Sheldon Concert Hall on Thursday, May 8th. And that is right around the corner. See, it says 2025, 5:30. That's going to be here in no time. So it's the Sheldon Concert Hall. Then at the $15 a month level, you will receive 2 tickets to see Donnie Bash live at the Sheldon and also that beautiful 9 PBS birthday mug. So that makes an awesome gift for anybody that you know and love. You know, you can invite somebody to see Donnie Bash live at the Sheldon, and it's a great time to meet other members and viewers just like yourselves. It's a great time to meet your favorite 9 PBS personalities. I mean, I know I'll be there, but then, you know what? You're showing up for the Donnybrokers, right? You want to see them, and you can meet them at the cocktail party. There's one before, there's one after, but in the middle of that, you get to see Donnie Bash live at the Sheldon. So right now, give us a call or text GIVE to 800-568-9099. But let's go over to the table to my friend Yale and the Donnybrokers.
Thank you, Mardia. We are back at the big table, but to paraphrase the movie Jaws, I think we're going to need a bigger table. Because on May 8th, 2025, at the Sheldon, Donnie Bash is going to have 6, count them 6, Donnybrokers at the table. How about that?
It's a record for us anyway.
It is a record. Everybody, the regular crowd will get 20% less time, I guess, to talk. But not really, because you actually get twice the amount of time that you would have in an ordinary Donnybrook show. Anyway,
I don't do math.
Yeah, we're not here to do math.
Awfully close to math.
We'll leave that to the Room 9 group during the day, during the educational portion of the programming. But Donnie Bash is becoming a St. Louis springtime tradition, probably second only to opening day. And I'm pretty sure that management at Channel 9 is trying to figure out how they can get the Clydesdales to go up and down the aisles of the Sheldon before the show.
Just one. Yeah,
one would do it.
You walk him in the back and have him on stage when the curtain opened, and then just take
It would be cool if they could bring us in convertibles.
Oh,
That would be nice.
Oh, that would be
Smaller convertibles, I guess, to get down the halls of the Sheldon.
Let me make a couple of calls here.
Right, call the Shriners. They can probably supply the adequately sized cars.
I'll settle for parking.
Yeah. Get there early. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to get there early because there's a cocktail reception beforehand. So you definitely want to get there to enjoy some libations and rub shoulders with the Donnybrokers beforehand. They probably will not be partaking, although that might make for a more entertaining show. Then again,
Are we rubbing shoulders? Are we
shoulders?
Are we rubbing? Last time you said we were rubbing elbows with everybody. So is it shoulders or elbows or both?
It could be either or.
Okay.
What will we be partaking in?
Well, that's a personal choice.
Yeah.
That
Did he
is a
say
personal
that the
choice.
panelists might not be drinking?
Yeah, he's like,
What, did they change our rules?
I didn't say when.
This is journalism.
Don't tell Bill McClellan. Don't tell Bill McClellan.
All right. We will not tell. That's why we kept him off tonight. We didn't want to break the news to him. So we're 9 weeks away from the big event. Think about, what could happen between now and then. What do you think y'all are going to be talking about, arguing about,
the election,
discussing? And the bigger question, 9 weeks from now, will the mounds of plowed snow finally be gone from the parking lots of the St. Louis metro area?
Depends who the mayor is.
we'll find. If it snows, we'll find out that they, once again, don't plow the side streets. But it's funny, it's going to be warm, I guess, apparently next week. But I was thinking that it's really going to be kind of like a really good Donnie Bash, because it'll be like, when the ice finally cracks in Alaska and the people lose their minds. It'll be like that, because we will probably truly be out of winter, and we truly had winter this winter. So I was kind of thinking, first week of May, that's gonna be
nice.
pretty cool, pretty nice. So
Great.
Yeah.
And it's our big fundraiser. You know, we don't have any other fundraiser for this program. And, you know, everyone's talking about federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which ends March 14th, and they have to renew it. And, you know, if you take the amount of money from the federal government that goes to broadcasts like this one, it's $1.60 per citizen per year. So I think that's pretty good.
That's worth it.
It is. Because consider there's no commercials here, right?
Right.
And we provide programming that no one else does or can.
Absolutely.
That is the truth.
Right. Whenever I'm watching Nova, I said, like, you know, this is the only place that this show is on. That makes the whole thing worth it.
And
our show too, of course. But,
I do hate to say it about commercial TV, but the bar does kind of keep lowering, doesn't it? It's very different.
The media is troubled. We need everyone's support.
That is true. Well, the bar may be lowering, but the bar will be open on May the 8th for Donny Bash at the Sheldon. Gonna send it back to Mardia in the studio.
I always love when Yale asks the question, you know, what are we going to be talking about when Donny Bash comes, right? And, you know, what are we going to be doing? And hopefully we know what you're going to be doing because, one, you'll be a member, and two, you'll be at Donny Bash. But when you become a member, let me tell you about all the fancy little things that we can send you to, all the opportunities. So at the $75 level, you receive that beautiful 70th birthday mug, celebrating 9 PBS for 70 whole years. And we can only continue for 70 more with the help of members and viewers just like you. So that's at the $75 level. Then at the $95 level, you receive 1 ticket to see Donny Bash live at the Sheldon Concert Hall. And you get to go to those cocktail parties that Yale was talking about. So there's one before and there's one right after. But in the middle of that, you get to see Donny Bash. And then at the $15 a month level, you receive 2 tickets. That's right. Not 1, but 2 tickets to see Donny Bash live and that 70th birthday mug. These are all amazing opportunities, and you are all amazing, amazing members and viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you. So give us a call or text GIVE to that number, 800-568-9099, or go to our website, 9pbs.org. That's NINE PBS.org. Join us for Donny Bash and join us as a member. Thanks for watching.